I would love to introduce you to our next speaker. This is a speaker who's been telling stories through film his entire life. He studied film directing in New York, then he built his craft in Istanbul and Amsterdam, and he spent more than 25 years shaping really high-end video campaigns for customers like Nike, Tommy Hilfiger, and Heineken. And along the way, he learned the craft of making something really complex into a simple and irresistible idea on screen. Today, through his company WonderLoop, Bas creates high-end explainer and product videos that do more than just look irresistible. They actually drive results. And he's been pioneering with AI to make scalable and personalized videos at a fraction of the old cost. He's here to share how AI can transform your video strategy. Please welcome Bas Dumoulin.
So, hello everyone. Good to be here. Glad the stage is so big so I can get my steps in today. I actually thought I was going to be at the NBC. I thought I'd made it finally to American TV, but unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, actually, it's even better. We're in Nieuwegein. So, good to be here. Let me tell you about myself. My name is Bas. For most people, that is kind of a weird name. It comes from Sebastianus, and I'm one of the few lucky people with anus in his name. So you can understand that I prefer that people call me Bas. Now, people call me Bas, people call me Bas, and people call me Buzz, and even better, they sometimes call me Boss. But we're not here to talk about my name, we're here to talk about AI. And so why do I bring all this up? Well, because for most people, AI can be as confusing as my name. I'm going to keep walking. I'll be there in a second. All right, so I'm here to talk to you about AI and tell you that if you know what you're doing and you have the tools to do it, then AI can actually be amazing. I'm curious if anyone here has seen AI video and thought, this is absolute crap. And are there people who thought, wow, this is amazing? Thank God. So I think it's amazing as well. And I've been trying it for a while. So let me tell you how I got here. Let me take you back 13 years ago. I was living and directing in Istanbul, Turkey as a commercial director. And we would have budgets of 350K. We would have 60 people crew. We could build sets to our liking. As if we had a vision, we could just build it. We would bring in famous actors. At that time, it was lost. But also models from all over the world. We would fly them in and we would make commercials with them. We even built an entire wheat field in a green screen studio to give the idea of a summer. So that's all great for big brands and when you have lots of big budgets. But if you're small, you have a problem. So for example, there was a brand that came to us called Darren. They are a fruit juice brand. So we wanted to make a campaign for them. And in that campaign, they had a commercial idea. We thought it was a killer idea. And it needed to be in the summer. And at that time, it was autumn. So the only option would be to either fly a 20-people crew to South Africa, where everything was still in bloom, or we would have to hire a team of lots of experts to do everything in ultra-realistic 3D. Now, obviously, that didn't go with their budget. So fast forward 12 years again to actually last year, 2024, and I was still toying with that idea. It was still in my head because I really liked it. And I started venturing into AI. I thought, what if I try this? We didn't have the budget, but maybe I can do it with AI myself. So that's what I did. It's just me, one person, on my own time, from my own funds, and just from home. And this is the actual result.
This is our manufacturing facility. Our facility manager and his assistant. And here's our security guard. Our state-of-the-art production line. Our facility's alarm system. And of course, our dedicated employees. We are one with nature. offering you its purest gifts. That it's in your nature.
Oh, well, thank you. So that's I thought it was amazing that I could do this. It's not perfect. There are lots of things that went wrong. This is also a little more than a year ago, so the tools have changed and it's been getting better. But let's compare it to the traditional way. So back then we would have had 60 people and it would take 14 weeks to do. And now it was just me in 3 days. Also a budget of 320K. And now I guess it would have cost 4K. So there's a big difference for the price of one big commercial. Actually, for half the price, you could make 35 AI commercials, if you look at it like that. Or in the same time that you make one commercial, you can actually make 23. Of course, that means that if you're going to make 23 commercials, you still need to have 23 very good ideas, because otherwise it's going to just be bad. Okay, so now I am normally in the business right now of explainer videos, and we do that traditional way with 2D and 3D, and we try to explain products and services and clarify them with those explainers. Now we have AI in the mix, and with that we can actually make them faster, we can adapt faster, and we can make them stronger. The same can be said for commercials. We've always made commercials to capture attention, and that attention right now, we can just get to faster. I can make cinematic shots at lightning speed. And then there's personalized video. That's also something that is happening with AI. With the help of AI and avatars, digital avatars, I can actually scale video. And that means that you can have one-on-one experiences with one video, and it scales 1 to 1,000 people. So before, you would have to manually make that video for every person, and now we can just make 1,000, basically with the push of a button. Now, you've never heard of me probably, but I've won quite some awards for a diverse portfolio of clients. You can have one-on-one experiences with one video, and it scales 1 to 1,000 people. So before, you would have to manually make that video for every person, and now we can just make. There was 35 millimeter film. It was physical. It meant that if you wanted to change a shot in the film, you'd have to fast forward through it, cut the film at a certain place, and then insert a new piece of film in there with a piece of tape, and then you had inserted one shot. But usually that would take about 5 minutes for one shot. Now, of course, then at that point, the nonlinear systems came like Avid and Premiere, and you could just drag one shot from one side to the next. So that was all very nice, but we had a lot of editors saying, yeah, but this is going to be horrible for our business. We're going to lose all our jobs, and it's going to be so easy. Everyone can do it. Yes, it's going to be easier. It's true. It is much faster, but it also meant there's more to do, because then we had localizations, we had cut downs, we had different variations, different sizes. All those things were added to what we were doing. So in a similar way that we're seeing with AI right now, that is just adding more to what we can do. More opportunities. So what does that mean, for example, for AI? What kind of opportunities do we have when it comes to video and advertising? For example, let's see like how many people have a CEO or who has the time to talk to many people at the same time, or to create 30 different kinds of videos for the social media. Not a lot of people and not a lot of companies have time to do that. But now, with the help of digital avatars, we can actually start doing this on autopilot, kind of. This is my digital avatar. She's called Amber. She's completely digital, and I have connected her to a CSV. I can connect her to a CRM like Zoho, and then have her send video messages to anyone I want, or any list I want. The same is for personalized explainers. So if you have an explainer video already, or you're making a new one, you can also personalize those and add these names of people and companies to your explainer video and make it a one-on-one experience. Say, hey, John, look what we're doing in our company. You can tailor campaigns to different audiences. That means localization is going to be much easier If you're working in one market, but you need to scale to another market, you can easily switch the personas that fits your market. When it comes to e-commerce, you could use images, and instead of just showing your dress in this case, you can input it into AI video and use it as a product demo. And it's quite fast to do this. So in filmmaking, it's all about the control over what you want. And it's changing. It's getting much and much better with AI. Over 1 year, it has changed a lot. But in filmmaking, control means consistency. And what do I mean with that? If I have one person a year ago, that was Amber, and then I would ask for the same person, and she would just look a little bit different. So that wasn't consistent, and you couldn't really use it. Right now, it's changed, and we can actually get with Nano Banana and Seedream. I don't know if anyone's heard of it, but we can actually get perfect replicas in different situations, different clothes. For brands, this is very important to be consistent, obviously, because the text and the logo has to always be the same, which is still very difficult unless you train your model for that. The same can be said for clothing, of course, especially when you're doing video. If in one shot someone is wearing a t-shirt and the next shot it looks completely different, then you have a problem, and it's going to take you out of the story, and your ad or video is not going to work as well. Of course, when it comes to print advertising, those are all one-offs, and you have one person, and that person will not appear in the next ads, or may not. Or you have actors that you don't want to see anymore in the next ad, or you have people that you wish you'd never seen. Okay, so that means we need guardrails when we're making these things. We need to make it easy on ourselves so that we can actually get outcomes that are predictable. Beforehand, we know, okay, this is going to work. So what happens is that you're try to make as many less close-ups, and you mostly have people talking in voiceover. If they have masks and helmets, or if it's just one person and then the next shot is a different person, those are all tools and tricks and hacks that we're using to make things easier on ourselves. This is a black frame because this is actually a video. This is a personalized video I just made for a company called Denso, and Denso is an automotive manufacturer, and they wanted to invite their clients to the DTM in Zandvoort, which is a racing event, and obviously they wanted to deliver their message fast. This is 2 weeks before the event, mind you. No, actually 4 weeks, but I had 2 weeks to finish it. And they had the idea that they wanted the Stig in there from Top Gear, which is great. And we thought, let's do it. The only thing is the Stig is IP, so we couldn't use him. And that's why we created the Stud.
Listen, I need to get a message to Linda Lulu Lupkins, and I needed to get there fast. So, get me the Stud. Denso has the privilege to invite you as our esteemed guest to the exclusive VIP area at the DTM Zandvoort.
So you can imagine, like, we made this video for many guests, and every video has a different ending, mentions a different person. It's in the subtitles, and it is everywhere. But you can also see the guardrails there, helmets, and when someone talks from the back. And that's already changing right now. By the time I made this presentation, it was like that, and it's already, getting pretty easy to do that now, too. Okay, so now I'll take you through the making of an AI commercial. This is a company that is from Taiwan. They're called Green Flash. They make renewable diesel, and they wanted to have a commercial that would would make policymakers in Taiwan make decisions because they felt like it didn't go fast enough and they wanted their brand to be pushed to the army. They had the idea of having a couple of frogs boiling in a pot. So before I tell you how I made all this, I, of course, should show you what it looks like.
Everything is fine. Just fine. But isn't it getting a bit hot? A bit too hot, perhaps? Climate change is real, but there is something you can do about it. Switch to a greener fuel before it's too late. Green Flash HVO Renewable Diesel.
Okay, so what happens is we have a script and we take the script and break it down into parts. On the left side, we have the voiceover, what's being said on screen. In the middle, we have all the action that's going to be happening. And on the right, we tell what we're going to be seeing in the camera directions, all that kind of stuff. Now, before, what we see on the right would be for a cameraman to interpret, and it would just be close-up of a frog's eye peeping over a pond's water surface. But on the right now, we're using prompts, and those prompts have specific information for the image generator. Then we start with prompting ourselves and seeing if those prompts that we've thought of were working, and then we refine them until we get the image that we want. At that point, we're happy with the image. Then we need to, what we call up-res. That means we want to have it in higher resolution and bring out all the details. Because once you're making this into a video, you're going to lose a lot of detail again. So you want it to be as specific as possible. Now, every time in an image generator, I'm going to generate an image, it's going to look different. So the next time it will look different. And if I find something that I like, for example, this frog, I thought it was great. He had a towel over his head. I want him, but I want him in a full shot. So that meant I had to Photoshop him into the environment that I wanted. And this way you start collecting and making all the images that you're going to need for your commercial. Once I have all those images, I'm going to put them on a timeline to get an idea of like, okay, this is the order I'm going to tell the story in. And then I will need a voiceover and I will need a music to kind of time it and see how it all fits together. For voiceover, there's text-to-speech. I'm using 11 Labs. And out comes the voice that you want. You can select different voices. You can actually clone your own voice if you would like and make it happen. And then there's a tool like Suno that creates the music. So you can just create professional sounding music with a prompt. So then you have those elements, you put them on the timeline again, and then it's actually time to turn those images into videos. There are different tools again. I am using Kling the most. And what happens is that you drop in the image that you've created before, you put in the new prompt. There's a motion prompt. It's different from a normal prompt. And 7 or 8 minutes later, out comes your video. And what I usually do is I press that button 4 times, maybe 10 times, so to see, I get different takes every time. Just like in real life, when you're shooting with actors, it's going to look a bit different. And then with those different takes together, you're going to composition it so that you have the actual shot you really want. Because I'm a control freak and I always want it a certain way. I see I'm through my time. I'm actually at the end almost. This is a music video that I made with all the things that go wrong with AI, which is quite entertaining, I think. The music, of course, is also made with Suno. And you can see all the problems I'm running into when I'm making these things.
Oh yeah, you're the one sugar body. Yeah, people think it's easy. The AI requires no skill. Like magic, it all happens. Your vision served at will at the push of a button. At the push of a button. Prompting man walks into bar, but then he walks right out. His face keeps on shifting, no matter what I shout. When he finally walks in, he tries to show more skin. Now I never asked for that, but we'll take it as a win. Prom said 12 frogs, but I got only 8. The third arm appears, isn't that just great? Spell check who needs it, I'll be up here late, fixing all the mess that AI helped create. People think it's easy, that AI requires no skill. Like magic it all happens, your vision served at will at the push of a button. At the push of a button. Frame rates and sizes different, they don't match. This woman has square pupils, she's a digital catch. You asked for 5 fingers, here's 6 in a batch. Some fingers grow longer, an uncanny snatch. People think it's easy, and AI requires no skill. Like magic it all happens, your vision served at will at the push of a button. At the push of a button. After Effects fixes what shouldn't have been. Premiere cuts frames that look too thin. Suno's music gives the final spin. It's never as simple as they imagine. At the push of a button.
Thank you.